game reviews. I need to write more of those, like, the game index things. Like, the first one I did for Alice Madness Returns, it was really stilted, because I'm not good at reading things off of, nasal drip, allergies! I'm not good at reading things off of, like, a script. Like, I kind of wish I had, a teleprompter right there to sort of tell me what it was I was supposed to say, because I can read off of a script actually pretty animatedly, but trying to remember the script that I had just written and just be like, what were the word choices that I made, and did I screw it up? Yes, I did. Yeah, I'm not good at that. I was getting better at it, though. I did a pretty good job with the Half-Life review. Yeah, I want to do more of those, though. It's just, it takes so much effort, and I'm a lazy, whiny bitch. So, yeah. And there's so many games I've played now, I don't know which one I would want to do first. Like, I know I was consciously holding off on doing, the Game of Thrones one until I'd finished the Walking Dead one, because there were some points that I wanted to compare across those two regarding Telltale, and I've kind of half forgotten them. I also wanted to do BioShock. I don't know. Okay, so let's just do this now. While I'm thinking about it, I'll do it here with you guys, and we'll get it figured out. Yeah, so let's just write it down. Game of Thrones. I need to do Undertale. Undertale should be fun. I don't know if I should do The Walking Dead until I've played the third one. I don't know if I will play the third one, honestly. Just emotionally, it took a lot out of me to play the game, a lot more in the second one than in the first one. Like, the first one, I didn't play on the channel because, and like the first one of BioShock and of fucking Walking Dead, I didn't play on the channel because I was saving them originally for the channel, but I was in college and I was stressed out of my mind, and I needed to play something that wouldn't suck me in like I knew Dragon Age would, or like Pokemon would. And so those things I could play without getting terribly involved, and it worked, and they helped me de-stress a lot, and it was good, but the second game was really stressful for The Walking Dead for a lot of reasons. And emotionally, I don't know if I would be able to handle the third one. And I don't know if the third one is going to come off as well. I don't know, because now we're playing a guy who's going to romantically end up with Clementine, and I don't know how I feel about that myself. Or he may not romantically end up with Clementine, but that sure seems to be where they're going with it. And I haven't heard nice things about the way they handled the multiple ending sort of thing in the second game, because it's really emotionally just sort of a thing where the ending you have in The Walking Dead Season 2 matters. And just to hear that they didn't handle that well in the third game. No, I don't know. Like, and after the disappointments of the Game of Thrones game and just the emotional exhaustion of The Walking Dead 2, I don't know if I'm going to be playing any other Telltale games ever. Like, I've got The Wolf Among Us that I've heard a lot of great things about, and I've got that in my library already. I've already bought it, so I might as well play it at some point in the future. Just beyond that, I don't know. I've been watching people play the Batman game, and that one looks really good. It looks like it's been really well done, but it has a lot of the same flaws that I noted in Game of Thrones, where no matter what you do on certain things, they have a story in mind that they want to tell, and it's tailored to your choices. But I feel like, okay, a little bit of spoilers here for Game of Thrones Telltale and the Batman Telltale for just like 10, 15, 20 seconds maybe. But in Game of Thrones, when you are Garrett and you're trying to like keep your word to Jon Snow not to kill the asshole who murdered your family and is attacking you on the ice wall, like, I chose every single thing I could not to kill him. I did everything I could not to kill him. And he still ended up dead, and I still ended up in trouble for it. And I still broke my promise to Jon. And I don't see how that couldn't have been handled differently, story-wise, and still end us up in the same place. Because, like, just what you could have done instead, like, he could have died, and that could have been fine. But as long as Finn, is that the big guy's name? As long as he attested to your side of the story from the beginning instead, I don't know, like, the way it could have gone down was you maybe didn't kill him. It would have been fine. He would have been injured. You could explain yourself. It was self-defense. You did everything you could not to kill the fucker, even though he killed your family. You're all brothers on the wall now. You could have gone with Jon Snow on the mission to Craster's. And during the mission to Craster's, you and your buddies could have, like, left in the middle of a big kerfuffle and just been presumed among the dead, or whatever. Or you could have been deserters after that. But that would have been preferable to losing Jon Snow's trust. I'm so pissed. I was so pissed. And then, now we're getting into the spoilers for the Batman game. You've got Harvey, who becomes Two-Face, and that's like one of the big points in the game, is that Harvey was a good person and he was your friend and you can do everything to save him and he still becomes Two-Face. You can keep him from getting this side of his face burned off or this side, I guess, technically, looking at it from the camera's perspective. You can keep that from happening. You can keep that from happening. You can save him from the criminals, you can support him every step of the way, and he still becomes Two-Face, and he still blames you for everything, even if you don't sleep with Selena. And it's just so fucking stupid that doesn't change anything. That doesn't change anything. You might as well have done all the bad things and left Harvey to eat dirt and die. And it just pisses me off. It just pisses me off because for a game that promotes itself on your choices mattering, it doesn't make it feel like your choices matter a fuck all. And that's something that the first Walking Dead avoided spectacularly. The first Walking Dead, it felt like your choices matter. Who you decided to save mattered. Like, even if the first guy died anyways. Even if, like, you couldn't save some people. Like, you were able to choose who came with you from like, the second time you get to choose who lived and died. You got to do all sorts of things, and even though you ended up at the same place in the end, and you still ended up there, it felt like your choices mattered, and that the lessons that you taught Clementine would live on and affect her. And then they also did a pretty good job with that in The Walking Dead 2. In The Walking Dead 2, they had those 5 different endings, and that was perfect. It worked really, really well. It worked really, really well. Just, I don't know why they couldn't have done something different for Harvey and something different for Garrett. And because I can definitely see in Game of Thrones how they would reach the same exact ending without changing too terribly much of the story. It would have just gone a different route. With the Harvey thing, Harvey becomes Two-Face, and Two-Face is one of the main villains that you have to contend with, and is one of the big plot points throughout the rest of the game. And so I see why they would make that sort of inevitable, but it didn't have to be. It didn't have to be, and that gets me. Because Harvey didn't have to become Two-Face in those instances. You can make all the right decisions and he still becomes Two-Face, and that pisses me off. These are the reasons why I prefer games like Dragon Age Inquisition. I love the Dragon Age series so much. It feels like your choices really do matter in Dragon Age. They set up things like the keep so that your choices do matter and everything. And just and things like Skyrim and things like Fallout, your choices do sort of matter in those games, and you can do things the way you want and they make a difference. And just, I don't know, I'm still pissed.